Good morning, everyone. Ish, you have not taken tea? Because I saw you take tea, so I don't understand why your energy levels are so low. So I want you to look at the person next to you and tell them, you are a beautiful story. No, you don't mean it. Mean it. So my name is Doreen Moraa. I am the founder of a digital advocacy initiative called I Am a Beautiful Story. Basically, what I'm a Beautiful Story means to do is give the face to HIV, the voice to HIV, and the progress to HIV on what we have done so far. So I was born with HIV. So for 3 decades, I have been living with HIV. And my transition, I'm here to speak about the transition from the adolescent clinic to the adult clinic. So I was told that I have HIV when I was 13, but my parents knew about it when I was 8. So that time, Nyumbani Children's Home used to have a program called Lea Toto. So they actually suggested I go to the children's home, but my parents were like, no, let's just, I was a day scholar in that children's home, so I would go there sometimes. There was very many nice things we used to do. So when I started my journey as a young girl living with HIV, I had a village. We had all these nice games. We had all these nice people around us. There were other kids around me who, just like me, did not know they had HIV, and everything was very nice. We were comforted. There was this blanket of comfort around us that just made the whole living with HIV nicer. And then when I was 13, now that was when my parents and the healthcare worker told me I'm living with HIV. And I was like, it's no big deal. And I was told I'll have to be on treatment for the rest of my life. So I was 13, I was like, the rest of my life can be like 5, 10 years, nothing too serious. So I didn't know that I will be on treatment to date, which is 19 years later. They did not give me this whole future thing. They were just like, for the rest of your life. And I'm like, somewhere along the way, we will find a cure, and I will stop taking these drugs. But that was not going to happen, and that is the reality that they didn't tell me. So what happened is when I started treatment, I was very excited to be on ARVs, because my mother used to, after clinic, she used to take me to this nice hotel and buy me chips, chicken, and soda. Very great motivation. I always wanted to go to hospital. Now, when I turned 18, one morning, one random Wednesday, I turned 18, and I went to the clinic. And with the pediatric clinic, we used to be given like milk and like a scone. I think food has always been my great motivator, because so there was like that milk and scone. So now my file is written adult. I'm like, these people, there is no milk today. So now I am like, okay, let's see what the adults have to offer. So I didn't know that was the point. My village was taken away from me. The blanket of comfort was taken away from me. So now it is me and the world, and these adults. And I am 18 seated in this clinic, and we used to be given, like the adult clinic used to be given these lectures, you're taught about treatment, and you're taught about prevention. I'm seated there like, these people, we do not operate like this on the other side. But you see, there was no transition period. There was no preparedness. To Doreen, now you're about to turn 18. So you're not going to come here forever. We are going to transition you to this whole new clinic. So nobody told me that. So me, I'm here seated, I'm like, these aunties and uncles, I don't know. It is not adding up to me. And then that is how I started withdrawing from care. I started not taking treatment. Also at home, you see that blanket I was given when I was a child, the blanket of care, was also not at home, because at home I'm the only sibling who had HIV. It's just me and my mom. And my mom is an adult. And I'm like, she does not get me. She already like moved on with this life thing, so she's good. But I am here trying to navigate life. I am here trying to understand that at 18 I wanted to be an air hostess. I think I still do, but that time the passion was there. So I wanted to be an air hostess. And I'm like, these people are not supporting me. They are not giving me that it's cold. For lack of better words, it was cold. It was very cold to me, and I started withdrawing. I started taking treatment the way I want to, so I will take holidays here and there. My viral load started going up, and the doctor started asking me, why is my viral load doing the things it is doing? And I told them, I don't know. Are you taking treatment? Yes, every day I am taking treatment. And clinicians can tell you that you've met adolescents who tell you they're taking treatment, right? But they're not taking treatment. And they're convincing you that they're actually taking treatment. So that was me. That was the adolescent. My viral load is 200,000 copies, and I'm telling this doctor, I take the treatment. I don't know what you're saying. So they were like, then we'll have to take you to second line. So now I got scared, because I did not want to go to second line. And I stopped going to hospital. They sent a counselor, they sent a social worker, they were always calling me. And I was like, yeah, we'll come back. And that is how I ended up taking a 2-year holiday from my treatment, because my village was taken away from me. I wish they continued with the village. I wish the blanket of care was there at some point, and I was told, we are going to remove the blanket small until you adjust. But it was just one day I was in pediatric clinic, the next day I was in the adult clinic. And it was new. And when you speak to most adolescents, they will tell you that life is lifing, and these people want me to take treatment. I am not doing this thing. You see, you just want to withdraw because you do not understand. It's not making sense to you, because you do not actually understand what it means to live with HIV your whole life. You have already done 18 years and you're shocked. So now they want you to continue with that strength, and you realize that at one point this person was doing very well. This adolescent was virally suppressed, they were nice, but they were 16. Now they're 18, and they're like, people are now beginning to like them in a sexual-related manner. They now have crushes. And then the burden of living with HIV is there, constant with them. And they're like, now, how do I do this thing? How do I handle this thing? That time I even used to, I think the period between 18 to 20, I used to even disclose my HIV status to potential relationships and lovers for them to feel pity for me. Like, I'll be like, oh, I want to tell you something, but promise me you're not going to leave me. And then they're like, you have not even said it. So I'm like, so I have HIV, but I was born with it. So you see, that brings the woye aspect out of it. Woye for non-Swahili speakers is the pity part. So they're like, oh, sorry, you're so strong. And now you're like, no, technically I'm not strong, but well, it's fine, we will go with strength. Because you want that constant validation that you're not being given. So at the hospital level, what I would love to see, especially because yesterday we asked, why do we keep leaving the adolescents behind? And even I think last year's World AIDS Day, it was shown that adolescents are really struggling with adherence. I can tell you for free, as a person who has been on treatment for 19 years, waking up every day and choosing to take an ARV every day is not as easy as it is. It is one pill. But sometimes you look at that pill and you're like, hey, anywho, we do it again today. So when you have to look at it from a point of the rest of your life, it becomes tiring. But when you look at it from today, you're like, I'm taking today's dose and that's it. Tomorrow is another day. It's easier. So I want us, as stakeholders in the HIV response, to go back to the village when it comes to adolescent care. When it comes to adolescents and young people's care, let us go back to giving them the blanket of care. That now you are 16, but remember when you turn 18, you're going to leave this clinic and go to the adult clinic. So what does that mean to you? Because it won't be very easy. Like, you know, we're human beings, so making friends like that, and then you are 18, you have to make friends with somebody who is like 35, and you're like, how that friendship dynamic is not really, you don't understand it. So have a transition plan between from the ages of 16 to 18, and don't leave that transition plan maybe up until 23, 24-ish, because by the time I was figuring it out, I was 23. Also have age-related clinics. There are some facilities that have age-related clinics, such as, like, they have a Saturday, it's Youth Day. So you go there, you get services, there's psychosocial support, there are other young people living with HIV who just come, they share their story, like they're mentoring you, and the psychosocial support does not stop. Because living with HIV is a very lonely journey. So if you feel that it is just you, you know, there are people who, the only person they know living with HIV is just them. They know there are 38 million people somewhere in the world, but they don't know those 38 million people. They just know themselves. And the only person who knows that they have HIV is them and the healthcare worker. And some of these situations make the journey lonely because you do not have your village. You don't have that blanket of care. So for adolescents, to make this, I know this transition is not going to be smooth. It's a bumpy ride. Some of them may even stop taking treatment. But when they stop taking treatment, please find a way of, I know we are going into DSD, but in this particular case, reduce the treatment. Let me see this person every 1 month. So that when they come, you're like, okay, you're taking treatment, fine. Ensure that the psychosocial support does not stop. Because when the psychosocial support stops, then that's it. That we are like, yeah, they have actually let me, I am now on my own. And you know, there is nothing as scary as you being 18 and realizing that you have to live with HIV on your own for the rest of your life. You're now like, I don't think I can do this thing by myself. So also look at the other factors that are affecting this young adult to not reach the proper adherence levels. I know we speak U equals U, but some of them are like, this U equals U thing, I don't think it will work for me because I'm not ready to commit to taking treatment every day. Some of them are in relationships, or they have gotten into relationships, or they have been rejected in relationships. Actually, relationships are a very big factor for young people living with HIV. People will just look at ARVs, their relationship, the ARVs have to be stopped. The relationship has to continue. For some weird reason, the ARVs always take one for the team. So you have to look at the other factors that are not medical related that are affecting this young person from ensuring that they are remaining stable on treatment. I cannot insist much on the aspect of support groups. Even if now that we're in the digital world, even if it is a WhatsApp group that has all of these other people that they feel that I am not on my own, I am not living on my own, there are other people living with HIV like me, even if they're just 2 people, they are people. And today I am feeling overwhelmed. The other day somebody sent me a DM. That is a direct message. And they told me, you know, I told somebody I have HIV and they did not react negatively. I am so shocked. And I told them it's because some people actually don't see HIV as a big deal. Remember, we have been socialized to know that HIV is this big scary monster. If you tell other people we have it. Actually, when my doctor told me that I have HIV, she told me, never tell anyone you have HIV. Do not tell people you have HIV. So that has been the conditioning. So when you tell another person and they don't act shocked, they don't reject you, you're like, are you sure you know what HIV is? Because now you go back to the basics of, maybe it's you, because self-stigma is very real. Self-stigma, it's, hey, that is a whole other tiny monster. But you have to, for adolescents, before transitioning them, please ensure that, and I'm leaving you with this, I think this is the last thing I'm saying, ensure that the village does not go away. Don't make the journey lonely for them. Don't make it look like they are on their own. Ensure that the village continues until they're at a stable age where now they're like, yeah, now I can live with HIV confidently and comfortably, and then we cannot leave them behind. Because we are making progress with them, and then going back to, why is the viral load all of a sudden 200,000? Something happened. So that something means that the village has to come back. The blanket of care has to come back. And that is where I end. And again, I tell you, look at the person next to you. Do you think they're a beautiful story? Thank you.